with yet another and critically endangered species. Hello. Load.
Unusual, to say the least, doesn't it? I bet most of you have never heard of such a bird in your life. I'd love to talk more about this little beauty, but I don't think we can, since there isn't enough information about it. The bird is extremely rare and, moreover, was discovered only in 1996. At the beginning of the 21st century, scientists had only 50 individuals of this species. Positive news is that after a few years, the numbers increased by 5 times, but it's not definitely a positive trend. These birds live quite long, about 14 years. Their size is tiny. They feed mainly on plants and small fruits, and of course, on insects. It's curious to observe how this bird eats some food larger in size than itself. The males of this species are quite attractive. Their snow-white plumage and red crest are very harmoniously combined to make this rare and small bird quite noticeable. Let's have a look at ice-frozen animals. Frozen animal.
Not another one of those cartoons.
How do you imagine?
Legitimately just the Ice Age. It's just the Ice Age all over again.
A frozen animal. Personally, I think that to encounter them in full growth in a cube of ice like this is something incredible. After all, every living organism will resist until its last breath, trying to get out, not to stand still and freeze. Nevertheless, this shot went viral on the internet, and many people…
Let's see. Let's go back. Hello?
Trying to get out, not to stand still and freeze. Nevertheless…
This feels edited. This feels just artificial, as you can see. Just look at the ice cube over here, and look at the animal enclosed in it.
This shot went viral on the internet, and many people say that it's genuine. What do you think? Could an animal really freeze in such a pose, or is it nothing more than a fake? Share your thoughts in the comments. Cave lion. A subspecies of these animals has long been considered extinct. Despite this, they were once incredibly formidable and powerful. Scientists believe that this may have been the largest of all lions in history. Studying those who are long gone is a bit problematic.
Is it? Okay. The Panthera atrox, right?
So scientists are constantly exploring different territories. So they managed to stumble upon the mummy of a lion cub of the subspecies, which was more than 28,000 years old. They found the little one in snowy Siberia. Due to the fact that the remains were in ice, they were perfectly preserved. So much so that people could even see its whiskers. The found individual was named Sparta, and studies about it were published in scientific articles. It's said that this…
And, this is after it went extinct.
Discovery was not limited to the whiskers alone. Together with them, the animal's internal organs, skin, hair, and soft tissues were found in almost perfect condition. Yucca. This is the name of a unique mummy of a young mammoth, which was discovered in 2010, 19 miles west of the mouth of the Kondrativo River in Siberia. The height of the individual exceeds 5 feet. The length of the body from the base of the trunk to the tail is 6.7 feet. Found in almost perfect condition, which was discovered in 20. The unique mummy of a young mammoth, which was
It's a mummy
Yucca.
of a mammoth.
This is the name of a unique mummy of a young mammoth, which was discovered in 2010, 19 miles west of the mouth of the Kondrativo River in Siberia. The height of the individual exceeds 5 feet. The length of the body from the base of the trunk to the tail is 6.7 feet. The tail of the female mammoth is short, and she weighed about 1,100 pounds when she was alive. According to preliminary estimates, the creature died more than 28,000 years ago when she was only 6 to 9 years old. The uniqueness…
Not another one of those Ice Age cartoon clips.
of the find is that Yucca's soft tissues and fur are perfectly preserved. Again, it's all thanks to the permafrost. On the animal's skin, there were multiple marks from bites and cuts by other predators. Perhaps this was the cause of the death of the mammoth. But the most surprising thing to me is the animal's brain. Despite the fact that it had lain in the ice for thousands of years, it was similar to the brain of a recently deceased animal. Research on Yucca has provided information about the specific features of the mammoth brain and other psychomotor functions of these extinct animals. The ancient colony of Adelie penguins. The Adelie penguin is considered one of the most common penguin species. Its name comes from the
Adelie penguin. Adelie penguin. This penguin, not extinct, by the way.
Life of the French navigator
Least concern.
and explorer Jules Dumont d'Urville, whose expedition in 1840 discovered Adelie Land in Antarctica, where a large number of these birds were found. Since then, scientists have carefully studied these individuals and found nothing special about them. However, recently they still found those representatives of the species, which can lift the veil of mystery. After all, I'm talking about an ancient colony, which is about 5,000 years old. The mummified bodies were lying on pebbles and were mixed with the bones and feathers of other birds.
They don't count as going extinct, by the way. Also, the portraits, the photos of the cave lion and the woolly mammoth mummies, they were taken long after the cave lion and the mammoth went extinct.
What's amazing is that all the objects found looked incredibly fresh, as if they'd gone to the other world no more than 5 to 10 years ago. However, since 1901, when Cape Irizar was discovered, Adelie penguins have never nested here. Although colonies of these birds are located throughout the Ross Sea and total about 1 million pairs, Cape Irizar is inaccessible to them due to the presence of permanent ice floes. In the past, however, it became clear that this was not the case. The birds were constantly changing their place of residence and sometimes did not have time to move to more favorable areas. I wonder if the individuals found are different from those that walk on our planet today. What do you think? Share your thoughts in the comments. By the way, do you want to know an interesting fact? It's the Adelie penguin that's depicted on the famous Linux operating system.
Oh no, the Model 10 bracelet.
This is our Model 10 bracelet. It wasn't the first piece I made.
Wolf. To see the next interesting find, we'll have to travel to northwest of Canada, where people found the oldest mummy of a wolf pup. It's perfectly preserved, even though it's lain in the ice.
Is it meant to be a dire wolf?
For more than 57,000 years. Preliminary analysis of the body showed that the creature died in an unusual way. The entrance to its cave was suddenly blocked, and the pup gone to the other world due to a lack of oxygen. It was possible to discover the remains of this unusual creature only thanks to global warming, which led to the melting of the territories. As it turned out, the remains of the animal were unprecedentedly well preserved. It's possible to examine in detail and study the skin, fur, and teeth, only the eyes are missing for completeness. Ancient dog.
Ancient dog.
In 2018, Russian scientists, together with a Swiss expedition, conducted joint excavations in Siberia. During the excavations, they managed to discover something that no one expected to see at all. It was the body of an ancient and dangerous predator, similar to a dog. Initial analyses showed that this creature died more than 18,000 years ago, even before the domestication of dogs took place. As far as is known, it was at this time that genetic changes began to occur in the bodies of the ancient wolves, which caused the origin of dogs.
That's meant to be a wolf, and then there's a dog. Okay.
Even after a thorough DNA test, scientists were unable to determine whether the ancient animal was a wolf or a dog. Despite this, everything points to the fact that we have one of the oldest dogs in history, discovered by humans.
Just call it a canine if you don't know if it's a wolf or a dog.
Humans. The puppy died at the age of a few months. The cause of death remained unknown. Such a young individual will play into the hands of researchers because, with its help, they'll be able to study the history of the origin of dogs more thoroughly. There must be something in it that we don't know yet. Dragon. And now let's take a look at a much...
No, not the dragon. Dragons don't even exist. They're just mythical creatures. Just look at the Chinese dragon, aka the long as some people might call it. And also the medieval dragons.
older find, which is about 110 million years old. Scientists in Queensland have found a brand new pterosaur species. It's believed to be
It's not a dragon, therefore.
far from the largest possible species, but even it had a 3.2-foot skull and a wingspan of about 23 feet. Despite such large wings, other evidence suggests that the prehistoric real dragon was not well adapted to flight, which
Prehistoric real dragon. This is so stupid. Okay.
only adds mysteries to the investigation of these remains. It's likely that the dragon spent most of its time on land, and its abnormally large mouth allowed it to easily grab any prey running away from it. What's the first thing that comes to your mind when it comes to penguins? Let me put it another way. What does this creature look like in your head? It's probably small, cute enough, black and white, running along the shore and flopping from one side to the other, right? And what if I tell you that in the past, a 330-pound representative of these flightless seabirds lived on the planet? For you to understand, it's 3 times the size of large, modern emperor penguins. The giant was the undisputed winner in the history of large penguin sightings. The only frustrating thing is that it was not possible to accurately determine its size. The fragmented skeleton makes it impossible to say anything for sure, but it's assumed that such a giant was at least 5 feet tall. And if we take into account the fact that in those times there were no dinosaurs, few animals would compete with this bird. However, this only confuses me once again.
The thing is, this penguin is here is, this penguin over here, penguins, they're still technically dinosaurs, just in the form of birds.
And because why, in that case, could these powerful creatures disappear from the face of the earth? It will eat whoever it wants.
No! Not the Indominus Rex from Jurassic World. The Indominus Rex is a hybrid.
I think that phrase would be perfect for this huge dinosaur, which remains were found near Canada in the late 20th century. It's believed that this monster could have been much stronger than T-Rex, those great prehistoric predators from books and movies. Just decided to make the species even more epic and came up with a name that translates as Reaper of Death.
Reaper of Death!
This is a clear hint that the predator had great strength and attacked both herbivores and other predators. We can say that it was at the very top of the food chain, and it had almost no enemies.
Oh my god. What is happening?
Itself decided the fate of others. According to scientists' estimates, the individual they found was about 8.2 feet tall, and its length from the tip of the nose to the tail was about 26 feet. Besides, this predator had terrible 3-inch long, razor-sharp teeth and incredible jaws, which were able to grab and not let go even another dinosaur equal to it in terms of size.
Incredibly traumatizing.
Along with this, the found individual had a number of features, the purpose of which scientists have
It's just incredibly traumatizing to hear these sentences in a supposedly educational video.
not yet even guessed. For example, on its upper jaw, Reaper of Death had vertical ridges, and its eye sockets were oddly shaped with strongly swollen edges. Now, let's talk about armadillos.
Okay. Glad we got out of that. There we go. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you all in part 6.